Hello, we're the Philosophy Show, and in this video, we're gonna talk about Plato and his 4 main points. Let's go inside! Plato was a Greek philosopher, born in the year 428 BC and died in the 347 BC. He is recognized as one of the greatest philosophers of all time. He was Socrates' student, from whom he learned lots of things, but Socrates didn't write any books. On the other hand, Plato wrote lots of them, 36 to be exact. Plato was also Aristotle's teacher, another great philosopher who wrote many books about society. Plato wanted to teach people how to reach eudaimonia, a state of fulfillment. In this video, we're gonna talk about 4 main points that Plato thought to reach the state of eudaimonia.
Oh, hello there. So you want to know about Plato's 4 points? Let's see. There must be a book about it somewhere. Here it is. One of the main points of Plato was that for reaching eudaimonia, we had to think more. This meant that when you encounter a decision in which you have to choose from, we have to follow our own philosophies instead of doxa, which means popular opinion. This idea could be viewed as a popular trend. Rather than doing this, you should think more about yourself and understand how the decision would make effects on you. For example, a doxa that we can see is in Ecuador. When we had the elections, there was the elections between Lenin Moreno and Guillermo Lasso. This is one connection with Socrates. Socrates, as Plato, was also a Greek philosopher at that time. Socrates thought that democracy was not a very well done way of voting for a president, because most people wouldn't actually think about their votes. That's why he thought many disciplined people should actually vote for their presidents.
The second point of Plato was to let your lover change you. This idea seems weird, because most people think that your lover loves you because of the way you are. But Plato thought otherwise. He thought that true love is admiration. This means that we should love someone that has very good qualities which we ourselves lack of. The right person for us should help us grow in our moral qualities so we can become better people. Plato thought that couples shouldn't love each other exactly the way they are, but rather be willing to educate themselves and endure hard times together. For example, I think I lack in the virtue of patience, so I should find someone that will help me grow in that area.
Plato's 3rd point was decoding the message of beauty. Many people lack some virtues. That's why beauty seems beautiful for them, because it shows the virtues that they lack. For example, someone who lacks the virtue of peace, strength, or harmony will look at peaceful or harmony art pieces because they find beauty within them. A major problem is ugliness. Ugliness prevents us from being wise, kind, and generous. That's why beauty helps us in teaching us about virtuous stuff. Plato's ideas were also linked to Aristotle's ideas. Plato thought that beauty would teach us about virtues. Aristotle thought that art would teach us something else. Aristotle thought that art, like back in Greek, were like tragic examples. These tragic examples would help us to feel more compassionate to other people. That's why art and beauty are both important to today in life. For example, this art will represent peace and harmony. That's why some people find this art beautiful.
Plato's 4-point was to reform society. In his book, The Republic, he talks about the things that should be changed in society. He saw that people focus on the rich and famous guys. He thought that the people that we admire are very important because they have a very big influence in our lives, how we think, act, etc. But the problem with these people is that they give very bad examples and therefore have a negative influence in our lives. For example, in our time, famous people give very bad examples. They give messages of drugs, sex, alcohol, and portray them as something good and natural to do. Plato thought that people should have other role models that were thoughtful and wise. Plato also wanted to end democracy. He saw that people didn't think properly before voting, and that's why they got very bad leaders. He wanted to let people learn how to think well, so then they can have a good democracy. This idea links to Socrates. Socrates didn't like democracy at all, because people didn't know how to vote properly. He thought that voting is a skill that should be taught well. He proposed that only wise people should be able to vote for leaders. And these were the 4 points of Plato.
The 4 points of reaching eudaimonia.